Welcome back, guys, to This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn and my handsome co-host.
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guest today is...
Alex Rios.
Yes, sir.
Alex.
Welcome to the podcast, Mr.
Yeah.
Alex Rios.
Hell yeah.
You know, before we get started, we just want to mention our new setup.
Yes, sir.
He's our first guest.
Yeah.
And so we're trying it out for, the future episodes.
It's different, and it's kind of makeshift right now because we ordered some chairs, and then they haven't came in yet, so... we still have the couch. It's kind of lifted on some. Y'all don't even know.
Yeah. I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But
Behind the scenes.
Alex and
Behind
Ronan
the
are
scenes
best
shit.
friends. They have matching watches, so we're comfortable
Yes,
with
sir.
him seeing this little setup right now.
Hell yeah.
And then if y'all hear some laughing or whatever, then Miss Ree from the 2 episodes ago, right? She's here too. So behind the camera, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So Alex,
Yes.
glad you're here, bro. We're gonna get into it and talk about like pretty much your career and everything, and then but is there anything you want to announce or something?
Oh, I got something for the guys. A little Avion. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So,
okay.
A little gift. I like to bring gifts to the homies and shit. So, a little bottle.
It looks kind of dangerous, honestly.
Dangerous how?
Like,
It's great. See? That's why I didn't want to do it on
we should have opened it off.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, this one, I had this one in San Antonio.
Yeah.
My father-in-law. And like I couldn't.
So what were you telling us about it? Like,
So it's purified in a different way where it takes like everything, all the impurities out of it. That shit's-
When I went to Tequila City, have you ever heard of that or no?
Mm-mm.
It's in Jalisco. I think it's in Jalisco, Mexico.
mm-hmm.
And it's basically like literally, it's called Tequila City. And that's where they make like tequila.
Nice.
And we went to like...
That's where they have all the agave plants and stuff?
Yeah, so we saw how they
Hard.
put them like in this big, how do you say horno?
Oven?
Like a
Oven?
big oven. So they're like all burnt, but you can eat them like candy.
Ooh.
And then they have like
Get
different,
closer to it.
they have like different, I can't even think right now. Son como big containers where they have like the different levels
Evian.
of tequila.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope bottle though.
Thank you.
There you go. Three.
I'll get the dolphins, babe. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. I want the U of H.
Do a little toast. Appreciate y'all having me on. To
Thank
many
you for
more.
coming.
You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
It's Ree.
Super smooth.
Oh, it's
Wow, that's
actually
pretty
it's pretty
good.
smooth.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Wow.
And it's not even cold.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty nice.
I'm actually impressed. I'm
Wow.
looking at the shot glass like it.
Dolphins? Wow. Like, SeaWorld? Nah, that's pretty good,
Yeah.
though.
Wow, I kind of.
Pretty
How
dope.
much was it, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was like 140. Something like
Oh,
that.
damn.
Yeah. So.
I think I want to get that for your dad's birthday.
That tasted like a $20 shot right there. No, not $20 bottle,
No, I know
but
what
it's
you
like
mean. I know what you mean.
taking away
Little
from it, you know?
$20 shot. Yeah.
Like, goddamn, just
Wow,
that little
it was
bit of
really
liquid.
smooth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, damn, it looks dangerous. Like if it's gonna burn my fucking neck, but
That's pretty smooth.
it went down
Yeah, it's
pretty
good.
smooth.
Good.
Yeah. So that's for y'all, man.
So tell
Appreciate
us, how are you like famous on our TikTok page?
Oh man, dirty-minded people. Nah, it was the pop-up. We were just talking about. What were we talking about again?
We're talking about tattoo sessions and how long they take, or what's your longest time.
Oh, what's
or
your
whatever.
what's your longest session? I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
like 12 hours or something like that. And it's just like
Yeah, dude.
had no context, just straight dirty people, dirty-minded
It's
people.
so funny. I was like, how'd it go? We're like, you're like, 12 hours. And I'm like, and Evelyn's like, oh, how long have you been doing it for? Or how long did you go for? And I'm like, oh, I think it was 8 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, he said something about Beto.
I'm like,
You're
yeah, Beto has a heavy hand,
Yeah.
bro.
yeah, some shit, dude. People are just going off on TikTok. Dude. I'm like, oh my god.
But you know
bro.
what's funny? Because at first I didn't even see it like that until I went and looked at it
Yeah.
and saw some of the comments, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that makes like fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like,
That shit's funny.
All right. Oh, what?
go ahead. No, I was gonna say like, so what all do you do? I know
Yeah,
we did the
So I do tattoo, like as far as like art-wise, or like just
everything.
in general.
Tell us about your life. We want to
let's
get
talk
to know
about
you.
everything. Just for context, Alex is a tattoo artist,
Yes.
so pretty much we're here to talk about that and then the journey that led to where he is
To
now.
now.
Right?
Cool.
Pretty much. So how'd you get started or what?
So I got started when I was 16. basically I was spoiled basically all my life, man. Like, you know, pretty much like silver spoon. If my parents struggled, I didn't see it, you know.
Yeah.
But what you call it? Let me see. I'm trying to think.
Just don't say
yeah,
again.
I'm trying not to
No, I'm
say,
just kidding.
So I basically started when I was 16. I what you call it? Yeah, you got me on a now.
No, you were already saying that.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think like where can I start with? So I've been drawing all my life basically. So it was one of those things where if it was my birthday, I got an art set. If it was Thanksgiving, I got an art set. So like as I grew, the art sets grew, right? So when I was 16, my parents basically told me like, you got to get a job when you're 18. And it doesn't matter like what you do. If you want to, you know, work or if you want to go to school, we'll support you. But at 18, you're going to start paying bills. And my dad was pretty like gruesome with it. He was like, you know, either you like it or if you don't like it, you can pack your shit and get the fuck out now. So like, you know, you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So like, you know, being spoiled, I was fucking pissed. I was like,
Was that a
man.
reality check for you?
It was a reality check. Like at 16, it was just like, man, what the fuck? Like I gotta pay a light bill or I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went back into my room. Excuse me. And I was like, so what am I gonna do? Like I've been drawing all my life. Like fuck school. You know, not saying school's bad, but just my case. Like man, I didn't really want to go to school. You know, so I was like, what am I good at? And I was like, man, I want to do like architecture, and then I was like, there's a lot of like math that goes into that. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah. So then I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm going to be a tattoo artist. And it took me like 30, maybe 45 minutes. And I went back to my parents' room and was just like, hey, I know what I want to do. And they're like, you know, you got like 2 years to figure this out. I was like, nah, like I know what I want to do. And they're like, well, what is it? And I was like, I want to be a tattoo artist. And, they're like, oh, like, all right, well, like we support you and everything, but just know that's kind of a different life, you know. And it was one of those things where it was just like, you know, what do you need? My dad got me everything. My parents got me everything I needed, like a little kit off of like Amazon.
Yeah.
By no means am I saying that this is like the proper way to go about it, but I never had an apprenticeship. So I was tattooing at the house. My dad basically told me like you have a year to get into a shop. If by the time you're 17 you're not in the shop, you could pack your shit and like figure something else out. So I want to say my 17th birthday, it was on a Friday, that's when I got into a shop and I was just like, this is it, this is what I'm gonna do. So and I've been doing it ever since.
So the like the kit that you got, what that they gave you off of Amazon, like what did that come with or what?
It's
Like,
a little bullshit ass machine, some needles, some ink caps, like just basically like a standard setup, like a foot pedal, power supply, but like the cheapest that you could possibly think. Like at the time I was like, hell yeah, this shit's hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was probably like a good, let me get a feel of what this is, or
kinda like if you've used those, like if you're a good artist you could use whatever, right? But like if you use one of those machines and you compare it to like the machines we use now, it's like day and night with the quality.
Oh,
like
really?
you actually have to know how to work that machine, opposed to now like with the machines that I use, that my homie and the owner of the shop, Rue McLean, it's Ruthless Irons, I use his machines, and he like it basically makes my job so much easier where I don't really have to work. I just have to let the machine do its thing and just follow it, you know. So
okay, so you skipped the whole apprenticeship thing, right?
yeah, basically I basically skipped it. I had a lot of mentors, man, from like the traditional side of when I was doing traditional tattoos to the black and gray side, but for the most part, yeah, I skipped it.
So like what is that, like that's just going into a shop? And
so basically like the right way to do it is you get tattooed by somebody, right? Like let's say for you, for instance, if you wanted to become a tattoo artist, the best thing that I would possibly say is focus on drawing, focus on understanding the element of what you're trying to do, and then get tattooed by somebody that you like inspire to be, or like their work. From there, let them bring that out, like, oh, you're drawing, oh man, that's cool drawing, or did you ever think about tattooing or anything like that? And so when the conversation sparked, then that's your chance to be like, well, yeah, man, like, you know, I kind of want to become a tattoo artist and this and that.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, an apprenticeship is so watered down compared to what, like, when I started over 10 plus years ago, like what that was. And even at that point, it was different from the artists that were there before me. You know what I mean? So it's like, just like anything, I think there's like politics when it comes to tattooing, and like what certain people think is how it's supposed to be opposed to like how it's not supposed to be. So it's like it gets real like real political when it comes to stuff like that.
I guess because like with me, whenever I used to be in the electrical, I used to be an electrician or whatever, and then I went through an apprenticeship. But that's just like going to school and then working at the same time. So it's like,
so it's kind of like that, but basically like I don't have an apprentice. I'm probably like a horrible teacher. I get real frustrated real fast, you know what I mean? So I don't think I would ever personally have one. I don't know, it may change, you know, but like I've had people wanting to be my apprentice, man, and they're just like, yo, I want to learn from you. Like, I want to be your apprentice, but I want to learn everything, but I don't want to go through like the grunt work. And what I mean by that is like, you know, if I want you to run to the store and get me something to drink, like, you know, hey, go get that for me, or like, you know, hey, I got dry cleaners, or I have this or that. Like, you're running errands, and
it's like an assistant.
It's like an assistant almost, but you're paying me with your time to be able for me to teach you something that's going to feed you for the rest of your life, you know? So there's people out there, like I said, with the politics and stuff, like, that they charge for like apprenticeships, and I don't believe in that, because it's like,
oh really?
Yeah, there's like, you know, you pay me $5,000, I'll teach you how to tattoo.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's just like, that's not how you get in. Or like they have tattoo schools around like the country, and like real tattoo artists, they're like, man, fuck that. Like that's not how you get in. Because imagine just to put in perspective, you go to a tattoo school, you learn how to tattoo, you get this diploma, and then you go to a shop that is not even like that, and you're like, yeah, I want to get hired. Here's my diploma.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, like.
So to be a tattoo artist, do you have to be certified or no? Licensed?
In the state of Texas, the shop has to be certified, meaning that the shop has to have a license. It's good for everyone in there we also have to have our bloodborne pathogens license, which is just for, you know, cross-contamination and stuff like that. But in Texas, the shop has to have the license. Anywhere else, I can't really speak on, you know, other places, but I know that individuals have to have certain licenses, like more than what we have in Texas. So yeah, it gets a little tricky with stuff.
Have you ever tattooed outside of Texas or just in?
Yeah, I've tattooed Kansas City. I've tattooed, where else did I tattoo? Can't think off the top. A few places. I've tattooed at a few places outside. Just recently, me and Rihanna behind the camera, we went to Kansas City, Missouri. I had some clients out there. Basically, I had like just private sessions. I had real nice Airbnb, set it up real nice so that it was just me and my clients, and it's just like the type of
environment.
The type of environment is like it's different because it's not a shop, you know what I mean? But the people that you're tattooing, it's very like, it's an intimate session, because like you're able to, it's just kind of like this, you know, like you get to talk about things and you know, come up with really cool ideas to tattoo. So
yeah, that's pretty dope. So as far as like, I mean, I don't want to touch on apprenticeship too much, but like, oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask.
It's the tequila.
Hey, bro, it's hitting me, dog.
I'm drunk. No, I was gonna ask. So, since you learned, you're pretty much like self-taught, right?
Yeah, I'm basically self-made, other than having like mentors throughout my career. And like I'm really lucky. Like the first people that hired me were Fry Madrano and the homie Hoser. They own In Creations Tattoos in Harlem Clark, and they were my first start. So like through everything there, like I'm lucky and fortunate enough to have people like them who were like, if you know, I really don't want to speak on it, but like there were certain things that were done behind the scenes, and they were like, don't give that to Alex. And they try to do it again, but like, yo, I already told you, like, Alex don't need that, or Alex don't need none of that. So like, if he wants it, he'll take it, but if not, like, no. So I've always had people like that who have like looked out for me, even though they don't have to, you know, but I think it's because they saw something in me at a young age, because I was 17, basically being around like 35 40-year-old men, and it's just like they're more mature than me, and I'm a kid, and I'm just like soaking everything in. So I could have went this way and never done anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I remember what I was gonna ask.
What are you gonna ask?
So it wasn't even about apprenticeship, but it's just like, since you didn't go that route, I was gonna say, so did you ever, like, I mean, you had to practice somehow. So
Yeah.
did you like practice on like family members?
Family members. I think my grandpa.
Oh, that's the chairs.
That's the chairs, podcast chairs.
Yeah.
I hope so. Shit.
Yeah. What you call it? We what were you saying with the who did I practice on?
Yeah, who did you practice on?
Man, I practice on myself. I practice on my grandpa. My grandpa was probably the first person that I tattooed with an actual machine. It was just like he already had some aces on his knee, and he had 2 aces on his knee, and I did the second like layer of aces, the cards on there. Man, I tattooed people at school, not at school, but like people from school, you know what I mean? And
have you ever had anybody that their tattoo got like infected?
I want to say yeah, but it wasn't my fault. Like 9 times out of 10, it's
on them. Right?
It's on them, you know.
Because on TikTok, I saw. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I saw this girl that she had a tattoo like the line back, like
I think I showed you that one,
like a saying in the back. Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh well, I remember.
And she went on vacation.
Oh
right?
that
Yeah,
one.
she went on vacation and she was out in the sun.
It already
and everything.
sounds bad,
bro.
Yeah.
It bubbled up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, this
Oh
shit
my
was
God.
so
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy because it's like they're so easy to take care of. They're so easy. Like you could just leave them alone and just wash them every day, and it'll be fine. But then it's like I tell people all the time, like I'll text you and let you know how to take care of it, because if I tell you right now, by the time you hit the door,
You're gonna forget.
You know. So it's like I've had maybe like 1 or 2 that had instances of being like, oh, I think this is infected, but 9 times out of 10 it's not. It's just that the person isn't taking care of it properly. Like they'll be like, oh well, you know, I went to the hospital and they told me that it's infected. I'm like, so you went to a doctor. yeah. Like you went to a doctor who doesn't know anything about tattoos, and they're prescribing you antibiotics, and you don't even know that that's what it is. And then so I'll tell them like, man, just wash it really good, submerge it, whatever. And then like 2 days later they're like, hey, it's gone. I'm like, like, because it's not infected, you know. So
do you often do like different voices?
Yeah, with Rihanna. Yeah, we do voices and shit all the time.
No, Roland does too. That's why I'm asking, because now, I feel like you've done like 3 different voices.
Yo, it's gone or whatever.
This is client.
That's the client voice.
That's the client voice, you know. Not every client, just some clients. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's very different whenever, like, the skin types, right?
Yeah, like everybody thinks that, like, oh, it's a tattoo, like, you know, in some cases it's the same, like when you tattoo people, but like I always, in my booking and stuff, I always tell them like, man, I have to actually see a photo of your skin and to see like what color is your melanin, so that I know how to attack the tattoo, because it's like, you can't tattoo somebody who is of lighter complexion compared to darker complexion, or even like olive tone complexion, because the tones will look different. You know, it's like drawing on a piece of white paper and drawing on a piece of brown paper. It'll look different. It's same, but it's different. So
it's different inks that you use? Or?
Not different inks, just mainly just like, I would say if I had like a light tone, a mid-tone, and a dark tone. On a lighter complexion, I can use all 3 of those, right? But on a darker complexion, like further than olive, you would use really the mid-tone and the dark tone, and the light tone would be their skin tone, like that. So you kind of just replace one for something else, like that. So it gets kind of technical. It gets really technical.
It sounds like it's a lot. Like,
it gets technical.
Do you get people that bleed like a lot?
I've had some people where they like a stuck pig, you know, but it's rare. Like some it depends on the place. Like I know, like, you know, if you're tattooing right by the elbow or like on the upper arm or anywhere with like a joint, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say like bleeding, but like the plasma, there's like buildup, you know. So there are stuff like that. And then, you know, I always get the clients who are like, oh, am I bleeding? I'm like, yeah, you know, I done poked you like 20,000 times already, you know, like, but it's just because like some people don't, like some people don't know, you know, like some people don't know.
I got mine right here.
Yeah. Like there, like you bleed a little bit there just because of like where it's at, you know what I mean?
I feel like you didn't bleed that much, did you?
I don't even remember. I was just looking away.
Yeah.
I was like super scared.
So like passed out and shit.
Yeah.
Was it?
Nah, hell nah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So whenever people bleed and stuff, like, I've had all my tattoos with Beto, right? So
the
homie, and then the one time he wrapped it with plastic or the shrink wrap, or I don't know,
like a saran wrap,
like a saran wrap or whatever. And then honestly, like that, whenever I left it on, I don't know if I left it on too long or what, but it left me a mark. And it kind of became like a scar or something. Like,
was it like a sticking saran wrap, or was it just like he just wrapped your arm with like, just like, you know?
No, I think it was like a piece, and then it had like tape, maybe.
Or I think something. He taped it. I don't know. I forgot. Man. But anyway, when I took it off, it like kind of burned.
But it went away though.
Like 2 or 3 days. Nah.
So you probably use Sanoderm. Sanoderm is like it's like kind of a saran wrap that sticks onto the skin for a couple of days. So like with me personally, I don't apply it to any soft tissue, like, you know, inner arm, inner thigh, back of the knee, you know, the ditch, like that, because what I've seen is it gives like a chemical burn. Basically like what you're saying. It's like a chemical burn almost.
Probably happened.
Yeah, so the adhesive is kind of like having a allergic reaction to the skin. And wherever it's at, not on the tattoo, but like where, you know, soft skin is, it can leave certain like burn marks that look like scars. But
you know, whenever like you leave a Band-Aid on too long, and it creates that edge, where it's like, it was kind of like that. But yeah, it kind of did like raise a little bit or whatever, but it did go away. But then when I told him afterwards, he's like, oh well, I'm just not gonna put nothing this time. So it's not always a thing you have to use, or
no, it's like some there's some clients that I use it on, and then I'll be like, how'd you like that wrap? Oh, I loved it. I'm like, cool, well, I'll use it again. Or then if they're like, I liked it, but it was kind of like annoying, or it kind of had like you know, it left me a little mark or something, I'm like, okay, then you're allergic to it. Or if it's like me, for instance, like when my homie Cody Gibbs did this one for me, we put the wrap on, and man, it was like burning, excruciating. And I've had the wrap on put on other parts of like my legs and stuff like that, and it was just burning so bad. I was having an allergic reaction from the wrap. And so I took it off, took some like Benadryl, and I was fine, you know. But just you'll know if you're having an allergic reaction. A lot of people are like, oh, it just kind of hurts, you know. It's like, well, you just got tattooed, bro, you know. So what is it, you know?
What's the percentage of your body that's like tattooed?
Tattooed? Oh man, I don't know, say like 20. No, more than 20%. Like
both your legs.
My lower legs, okay. I don't have
like
my
below
thighs.
The knee.
Yeah, below the knee. I don't have my feet done. I got my forearm, my upper arms. I got my chest and like partial back. I don't know. I say like 40%.
Can you take your shirt off and show us right now?
No.
Yeah.
You're trying to make it go viral on TikTok.
On TikTok again. Get on the table and start dancing.
It's a tequila.
Yeah, it's a tequila talking. But probably like 40%. Yeah, but I want to get tattooed pretty soon. Probably make an appointment with my boy to finish off my arm and at least get one of my arms done. You know what I mean? I have some stuff on this side, but no, I'm gonna get that redone. So
because I was telling on the way home from work or whatever today, I was telling my coworker that we're gonna have you today and stuff like. And I was like, yeah, you know, he don't look like a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I get that all the time. One thing I get too is like they think I'm an apprentice. Like people think I'm an apprentice at the shop because I guess I look young, or like I just don't fit the description of a tattoo artist. And like it don't bother me no more. But back in the day, oh bro, I used to get pissed. Like maybe a year or two ago, you know, I used to get pissed. I'd be like, oh yeah, like are you an apprentice or something? I'll be like, nah. I'll be like, you know, hey, I think you work at Walmart. They're like, you work at Walmart? Are you a cart person? And they're like, no, why would you say that? I'm like, oh, because, you know, you're just assuming shit, you know? And then they'd be like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah.
Damn, you're spicy.
Yeah, but I've calmed down. He
does the Arthur fist.
Yeah, like the Arthur. Yeah, but I get it all the time where like recently I had somebody where they're like, oh, like we thought you were an apprentice, you know? And I was like, oh, okay, well, check out my work before you know, call me an apprentice. And they seen it and they're like, oh shit, you're not an apprentice. I was like, yeah. So I was like, just because I just look like this. There's a little joke.
Why do you think that like apprentice and assistant sound so like
because I hated that shit when I was an electrician.
I think it's because like you know what you want to be, but being called that is kind of just like a damn. called that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was an instructional aide at a school.
And you're like,
but when they would say, oh, you're the teacher assistant, and I'd be like, no, I'm an instructional aide. It's very different from being a teacher assistant. They're like, well, what's the difference? An instructional aide helps.
I thought it was the same thing, honestly.
It's not.
You see? Feel like,
it's more like an instructional aide helps with instruction, not the teacher, but the students. And a teacher assistant does the copies, everything. Like, obviously, you could do same work, but there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
You know, when like I didn't know what an apprentice was until I was an electrician, and then the time that it happened where I was like, fuck this shit, was my first year. I was a first year apprentice, and then I went to my first like job site, right? And then I was they pretty much put me with like a journeyman that was gonna like have me work with him and stuff. And then he was like, you remember I told you like,
which one? Who?
We did like the morning meeting, the safety meeting, and then he's like, all right, y'all get to work. And I grabbed my little tool bag. I had like a little tool bag, and he had like a big ass like duffel bag with tools. And he's like, "Hey, you're my apprentice. Get my bag." You know?
Oh, okay.
And when he did that, I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not getting his bag."
So you have like, that's how I am, right? So like, I know me personally. I'm just speaking for myself. I know that I couldn't go through that shit. Like, I know how I look. I know how I'm perceived in certain circles or whatever like that. But I know who I am, right? And I play my role in the room that I'm in at all times, right? So if someone tries to speak to me like that, I'll be like, man, fuck you. Like, I ain't doing that shit, you know? So I do understand that. But like in this world, like in the world that I'm in, like, it's not too bad. Like, I know a homie that one of his apprentice at the time, I ain't gonna say no names or nothing, but he fucked up, right? I think he didn't clean the shop right, or like he didn't do an errand right. So what he made him do was made him put like makeup on and made him put a dress on and go to like the nearest mall and like pass out cards and shit. But it's more like hazing, I guess. You know?
Like a haze.
It's more like hazing, you know. But he did it because he's just like, man, he's seen the bigger picture, you know. Yeah. But yeah, man, there's a lot of people that I've had that want to get apprenticed by me, and it's always humbling, you know. Like, man, that's dope. You want to get, you know, taught by me or whatever. But I always tell people, like, man, that's something I learned from my homie. Like, all these people want to learn how to tattoo, right? It's cool to tattoo, whatever like that, but they don't know what it's really about until they're actually in it, you know? Yeah. I tell people, like, it's crazy on the podcast because my homie Christian, he had posted something on his Instagram, and I had told him, like, man, I feel that, you know, everybody wants to be part of this world until they're in it and they realize, like, you know, you got the ocean full of fish and then you got the ship, right? So many tattooers nowadays, there's so many tattooers. There's so many good tattooers, right? But do you want to just be one of those guys who's just good at what they do and you're just one of the fish in the ocean? Or do you want to be on that ship where you're one of those guys, whether it be in your city or just nationwide, where you're part of that ship where, like, how, like, not down in the people, you know, the fishes or nothing, but you're not in that circle, you know, you're kind of at a higher tier in the work, you know, so it gets kind of fishy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, burp a lot.
You always burp.
I saw that. I was like, but it wouldn't come out.
I was watching, every time I see the episode, she's like, my bad, my bad. She looks at you, she's like, sorry.
Because he always calls me out on it.
Everyone take one with me?
Yes.
Let's take another shot.
Another shot.
We could serve. You want to start it right now, or?
Yeah, it's already, I clapped, so.
We're going.
We're going.
I didn't know you were the clapper.
Shout out.
You always ask me to clap.
Shout out to my boy Toon. He be putting me on all the what you call it, the tequila
drinks.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Toon
Velasquez.
Yeah, I seen him on IG. Shout out to him.
That's
shout out
homie.
Beto. Shout out Cody.
Drew.
Okay, so the guy Cody, is he the guy with the beard?
Yeah, that's fucking Cody.
I think he was there one time, right?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Okay, now take your shirt off.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I do play.
That'll go viral right there. Just that little snippet.
All right.
Yeah.
Now take your shirt off.
Hell yeah. But now the boy Cody Gibbs, he owns Gold Rush Collective. That's where I work. Okay, one of my it'll probably blow his head up if he hears this, but it's somebody that I really look up to, that I've looked up to for my whole career. Like, as long as I've been tattooing, that's how long I've been knowing him. And he's like, the homie Gabriel had said it on another podcast that he was on. He's one of the pioneers of, like, the people that tattoo in Houston, you know. And before him, who taught him? Rene Garcia, rest in peace. I don't know if you know Rene.
Yeah. So I was gonna talk about that because I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I didn't know too much about the whole tattoo world in Houston and stuff until I started getting tattoos. Mm-hmm. But I just knew that Cody was like up there, kind of.
He's one of them, yeah.
And then Renee, and I saw that he like, passed away.
With Renee, rest in peace. What you call it? His lineage of like tattooers that he taught, bro, are Cody Gibbs. You had Abel, Javier. You had who else? Corey Sowles. Who else? Valentin Kalanga. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
So like that's his lineage of like apprentices that he had. So
Tank got tattooed by Valentin.
Oh.
Yeah. So like when he passed away, it kind of like I didn't know him personally, but it was one of those things where I told Cody, like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have learned the stuff that I learned from Cody in order to be where I'm at, you know? So I always say, like, anybody who's anybody in Houston or anybody who's, like, has good work were either taught by him or someone was around him that was taught by Renee, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Renee had a huge impact, still has a huge impact on the Houston tattoo world, you know? So rest in peace, Renee, you know?
Damn, he sounds like a legend.
He is a legend. Like, he is a legend. Like, I've only spoke to him, like, a few times in person, but just how everyone talks about him, how everyone was taught by him, the things that he instilled. The one thing that I know that he always said was, like, draw. Like, I had a homie who worked for him where we would do art fusion. And what that is basically, like, if it's us three, right? Mm-hmm. I'd start a drawing. And then, like, 5 minutes, I'd give it to you. You draw on it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, give it to you. And then, so you're gonna create something, but it's a like formula and an exercise so that it could get your momentum of creativity going. Mm-hmm. So he would always do that with like the artists that worked with them and you know certain things like that. So it's really cool. I'm very fortunate to have the mentors and really like Cody for basically kind of pulling me under his wing and telling me like, yo, this looks good, this doesn't look good. Do this, don't do this, you know? Like, this looks alright, this looks like hammered dog shit, you know? That's something he always says, you know? So, he's one of those, you know?
It's good to have, like, those people in your life that genuinely care for you and genuinely, like, will, like, help you, will guide you.
Yeah, because he didn't have to do that. Like, Cody Gibbs is one of them. Rue is another one. That's the other owner of the shop that he helps me with a lot of stuff.
He's the one that you said you bought the
machines from. He builds machines. So he's one of them. He always gives me a lot of advice. Another one is Casey Baldwin. He owns Bold and Brave. That was a shop that I worked at for a while. He helped me a lot with traditional. Man, you know, Fry, Hoser, you got Bobby Kareni. Like, I can name so many people that I literally remember, like, this person showed me how to draw this, or this person showed me how to do this, you know? Like, I got a homie out in California named Vito, and I took his one-on-one seminar, and, like, when I took his seminar, it was a lot of stuff that I was already doing, but I just didn't understand why I was doing it. So he started pointing stuff out, pulling my images up on the computer and being like, look, see how you did that? Do that. See what you did here? Don't ever fucking do that again. Yeah. Like, stuff like that, you know? So I'm very fortunate to have a group of people, especially who I work with. You know, we got Kelly, we got Drew, Ryan, Chris, Cody. We got, Tune, where we all, like, we're not scared to tell each other that something doesn't look good, or we're not scared to tell each other like, hey, like, you need to go bigger, or hey, you know, is this too much flow, or is this enough flow, or what do you think about this, what do you think about the placement? Because, you know, it sucks to say, but like a lot of artists, including myself, we all take stuff personal. We're very sensitive when it comes to art, And like a lot of people won't admit that, but like a lot of tattooers, like all tattooers, are sensitive somehow, some way. So when you tell somebody like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't really like how this is, they get their feelings hurt. When it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, okay, cool, well, I won't do that again. I'll, you know, try something different, you know. So
I think yeah, you do. I think it depends too how maybe they approach you about it.
I think it's that, but you gotta understand too that like it's a constructive criticism that goes into it, right? So
and I'm like his hardest, like biggest critic.
I'm her biggest critic.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll tell her like, hey, well, why are you sitting like that? There was one like recently, like just real quick. There was recently like she was sitting a certain way and it looked stiff. And I was like, why are you sitting like that? Like, you're not, it doesn't look natural.
Why crisscross applesauce.
You know?
Pictures are so badass.
They are, but you got to have somebody there to, you know, kind of nitpick, right?
No, it's good though, because I feel like you being that person for her, he tells me to,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, because so I mean, like, who's gonna be that one?
Or
right?
who's going to be that honest, where you can just be like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, you know, she's like, oh, I sat like that for a reason. And I was like, okay, well, if I was a Vogue cameraman or Louis Vuitton or this and that, would you tell them the same thing? She's like, no. I said, okay. It's not coming from a mean place. It's just coming from like, just look more natural, do this and that. So it's the same thing when it comes to tattoos. Like, especially with me personally, the people who critique my tattoos, bro, they are not nice, bro. But I tell them, like, I don't care. I don't care. Just tell me. And it's stuff that y'all might not even see. It's like, it could be, man, that tattoo's dope. But why the fuck is this line like squiggly? Yeah. Like why?
So look at his real quick and see if you can find something.
Can I find something on here?
Sorry, he's a little ashy. No, I'm just kidding, baby.
I am. That was pretty bulletproof, bro.
Okay, what about this eye? It's supposed to be my eye, but right now, you know, I'm like.
Okay, so I mean, this was like after she got her lashes done, so her eye was like super watery. So he tried to like get all that.
Yeah.
You know, it was a A1 picture.
Yeah. It was a good picture. Like if I show you the picture, it's like down.
It looks like the picture. Yeah. But I mean, right now,
he's like, I mean, it was done by Beto, but not done by me. So
yeah, he's like,
nah, Beto's solid, bro.
He's like, it has too many lashes for my liking.
Nah, Beto's solid, man. Nah, it's just like when it comes down to like critiques and stuff, man. It's not one of those things that like.
Do you feel you're a big critique for other tattoo artists or no?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do you feel like if you criticize? You criticize. Like, do you feel like if you were to see something and be like, damn, they fucked him up. Do you think that to yourself?
Okay, like let's say like you're walking down like at the mall or somebody, and you just happen to see somebody's tattoo.
Oh, I see people's tattoos all the time. I see it all the time, but I'm like,
because I do that with businesses, like for logos and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's in everything, because it's like you look at people's tattoos and you don't. It's hard not to say that you don't judge them, but you're judging them by like, damn, they're not conscious that there's better work out there, or they're just cheap. And it's like, dude, why are you gonna be cheap for it? Okay. You know.
So I want to talk about two things. So I want to talk about like your style. I'm just saying this so I don't forget. You know?
Okay.
But it's your style, and then like cost.
It's the age, babe. I get y'all. Yeah. It's the age.
We're old, bro.
I'm turning 23 in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll be 21 in October.
Okay.
So, but I want to talk about your style, and then I want to talk about cost.
Cool.
And I wanted to. You touched on a little bit about like whenever like somebody's reaching. All right, let's touch on that first.
Wait, hold on. I also want to talk about you said cost, style, and like how you live off of.
Okay.
We can.
Which can go together with cost.
Okay, but first, since it's at the very beginning, whenever people reach out to you for tattoos, and you ask for pictures and they seem to not understand that, like. You know how earlier you were like, oh, that's why I asked for a picture of where the tattoo is gonna go,
placement.
Your placement and all that. So explain that, like why that's important.
It's important, at least for me, because I can't really speak on like everybody else, you know. But for me personally, I have to see what I'm tattooing, just because like my forearm's different shaped from your forearm, and then her forearm's different shaped from her forearm, or you know whatever body part it may be, right? So, like of course. You get a lot of people who, like I said, they either don't know or they're just ignorant. Like, that's the only way that I can tell you, right? So, you get people, like I had somebody hit me up today and was like, I get a bunch of text messages, and no one, for some reason in this world, no one says like, "Hey, my name is such and such." It's few and far in between. I love those clients that do that. Like, I love clients who are like, "Hey, my name is such and such. I found your work on Instagram. I would love to get some work from you. Below, I've attached the idea of what I'm trying to get done along with photos of the placement." And then, like, I always tell her, like, "Oh my God, I love this." Like, you make it so easy, right? Yeah. But then you, on the other side of that, which of course you're going to get no matter what in any business, right? You have the people who are like, "Yo, how much for a sleeve?"
Oh my God, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, how much for a rug? How much for a logo?
Yeah.
Well, what are you trying to get?
Like,
you need more details.
Exactly. So with my booking, like, my homies always make fun of me because they're like, "Damn, bro, like, your fucking booking's long." And I'm like, yeah, but it describes everything.
And it gives them like an accurate price?
It doesn't. Okay, so with me, this is just my views on it, right? Mm-hmm. There is no accurate price for a tattoo, right? There isn't. Like, you may have a flat rate, like, say, like the tattoo on your wrist, right? If I were to do something like that, I'd give you a flat rate. Oh, it'd be like $200.
What's your flat rate?
Well, my minimum's $300.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my minimum's $300. But it's okay. If you think about it,
I'm too cheap, baby.
Yeah, but if you think about it, okay, that's my minimum, right? Mm-hmm. What you have to put into perspective is that I've been tattooing since I was 16.
The experience
that I have. So even though that tattoo may take me 10 minutes to do, it took me over 10 years for me to be able to do that in 10 minutes. But not a lot of people, once you start getting tattooed,
think like that.
A lot of people don't think that until they're the ones,
in the business.
Doing
exactly.
Yeah, because it took me a long time because I'm a cheap ass, so to me it's
and that's okay.
I'm going like, with whatever saves me money, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
But me, getting together with Roland and him being a creative and an artist, to me, I'm always like, nah, fuck that. You have the experience. Yeah. Charge him that, But to me, I'm like, no, don't charge me that.
Yeah, don't charge me that. Yeah. But yeah, no, so like with me, I focus on a lot of like larger scale images. I do a lot of statues. That's really what I'm known for, is like a lot of black and gray statues, whether it be Egyptian, whether it be Greek, Aztec, Mayan, not Colombian, Cambodian, like stuff like that. I love multicultural statues. I just love the fact that people want these statues that were created hundreds of years ago and they're marking their body with them. Like, that's fucking awesome to me, right? Yeah. So with things like that, I would say I do black and gray realism, but I do like more of a pepper shade, I guess you could say. And with the needles that I use, it takes me longer than opposed to using a different needle. What I mean by that is like, okay, you got this whole table, right? Mm-hmm. And you can use a paintbrush like a roller and you can get it done and it'll look good. But you can use another type of paintbrush and it may take you longer, but all the inconsistencies that you may have with that big brush, you won't get that with this. It just takes longer, right? So that's like with me, it takes me a little longer, and I tell clients that all the time, like, hey, like, I don't tattoo fast, and on top of that, the work that I do, everyone sees it on Instagram. They're like, yo, bro, you knocked out that whole sleeve in one session. I'm like, hell no. Like, it took me 5 sessions to do, Yeah. So, but to get to like what I charge $1,000 per session. That's my day rate.
I was gonna say, so how long is the session?
So I get started around like 10 a.m., maybe 10:30 a.m. You get there, I get set up. We talk about, I kind of already have an idea of like what you're getting done, but that's when I actually start designing something. So like, let's say I was doing a statue of Jesus with like a rose. I find the best photo that I can, and like you can source it from like Google, Pinterest, Instagram, stuff like that. But I actually use photography websites. I'm gonna drop some if y'all listening. Alamy123rf.com. You got Shutterstock, stuff like that, right? Yeah. So I actually buy the images so that I can keep them, right? And with that, you get the quality of a good image. So say I'm doing a statue of Jesus and I want to do the whole thing. I have a beautiful, high quality photo reference to go off of. Yeah. And if I want to use that same one, I could zoom into it and like just focus on the eye or focus on side of the face. Yeah. And the more you zoom in, it's like seeing it in real life,
Yeah, I want to touch on that because for you to buy the image, like that's a lot of people don't do that.
No.
You know, like a lot of people just want to
like,
cheat.
Fuck that. I'll screenshot it. You
know?
Yeah.
Which I'm not like, you know, going into like the you know, design and all that stuff. I've done that.
And I have too. I've
done that. But now I've gotten better, bro. Like I want like the real shit. I want the good images. I want the, you know, like shit. I'm paying for episodes of fucking Better Call Saul. You know, like I want like the good shit. You know? Like
he pays for the episodes so we can have alone time.
I'm paying for her time right
You're paying for her time, yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, that's just like something.
Episode right there.
Hell yeah, that's just something that I picked up and was just like, you know, my deposit's $200, right? I have a $200 deposit. It goes towards the tattoo, but it's also non-refundable and non-transferable. Which meaning is if you book and it's different throughout whatever artist you deal with, right?
Yeah.
But with me, is if you book on a Friday, right, and you want to reschedule, I may be able to get somebody in, but at the same time, I may be losing out, right? Yeah. So that money, that $200 is going towards that Friday, right? Mm-hmm. So I've had people like, oh, you can't reschedule me? Oh, I for sure can reschedule you. You're just going to have to put another deposit down. Oh, but, hey.
Because that just covers, like,
that covers
the time that you could have had somebody else.
And you know, that's like something that it happened to me too. But I didn't even realize because I had booked like a lash appointment, you know, but I didn't even know that, like, it didn't even click to me that it was like a non-refundable and it wasn't going to transfer, you know. So when I was like, hey, I won't be able to make it, and they're like, oh, and they sent me the money. I'm like, hey, you're missing the deposit, basically, right? And they're like, oh, it's non-refundable, but I can still send it to you. And I was like, oh no, like
oh man, you got people who understand, and you have other people like over the years they're like, nah, bro, I need, like, hey, you think you can send me that money back? I got a emergency coming up. Man, it's like that's like a whole different topic when people lie about not being able to make it to their appointment. Like, yo, my grandma died, I won't be able to make it. Or hey, I had this one client where he was like, yeah, bro, because I send out confirmation text the week of your appointment, right? So it tells you basically, hey, you have an appointment with Alex. This is the shop that he's at. Make sure to do this, and this before you get there, and let us know when you make it. Whatever. It's just, you know, kind of just a rundown, a reminder, right? Well, he was like, hey, man, I won't be able to make it. Like, I had a bad car crash yesterday, and I'm like, all right, well. Like, okay, depending on how bad it is, you could have at least told me you have something set up with somebody. You could at least told me, well, that person, for some reason, they saw my story, right? And, you know, everybody does it. I went through my story to see who looked at it, and I seen it. I clicked on it. I clicked on his story, and he was out at, like, the rodeo with his girl. And I was like, oh, so you didn't get in a car crash. Your girl told you weren't going to get tattooed, and you're going to spend time with her, and you didn't, you know, drop your nuts and be like, no, I have an appointment to make it to, you know. So people lie about that shit all the time.
Because it should be one of those things where it's like it's a doctor appointment. It's a fucking appointment. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, we are tattoo practitioners. That is the legal name of what we do. You know, regardless of if you're a hood tattooer or, you know, a 5-star tattoo, whatever you want to be, you are a tattoo practitioner. So, like, it's just like you said, like, you know, the dentist, the doctor, whatever. When you have an appointment, like, of course, emergencies happen. Of course, like, things happen financially. But it's how you go about it with the artist. You know what I mean? Hey, won't be able to make it, man. I apologize for wasting your time. I do want to get tattooed by you in the future, so I will hit you up. But those are, like, far and few in between. There's some people who don't even show up, no call, no show. There's some people who make up excuses. Hey, my grandma died. I'm like, dude, why would you lie about that? You know, it you know, there's just like in any industry or any culture, you know, you got the good shit and you got the bad shit. So
you know. What's one of the biggest perks of being like a tattoo artist?
Freedom. I got into that's a good question. I got into tattooing. Everyone got into tattooing for different reasons, right? Just like, you know, whatever business you get into it for whatever reason, whether it be the looks, whether it be the fame, whether it be the money, whatever it may be. I got into tattooing strictly for freedom. And what I mean by that is, like, I've seen my parents and my grandparents work like all their life. And, you know, I don't knock anybody who has multiple jobs or like has a 9-to-5, but I never wanted to live like that, right? So I would see my mom, I'd see my dad, I'd wake up, he'd take me to school. I come home, he's not there, he's at work. 9, 10 o'clock, it's time to go to sleep. I see him, he gives me, kiss goodnight. All right, see you in the morning. So with that, then when my grandpa working at the post office, going there, coming back, going there, coming back, going there. My mom working in the hospital, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so I seen that, and I was just like, man, fuck that. Like, I don't want to live like that, So I wouldn't say like tattooing, like I fell into tattooing. My mom is like one of the main people who pushed like art on me. Like, no matter what, like she was pushing art. And then so my dad, like how we had a conversation in the living room, behind the scenes, my dad taught me a lot about like basically like hustling, like my dad taught me things, like I told you, that I don't think a lot of kids should know, because it can go.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you that, like, because I feel like we're kind of like in the sense of our maturity level being at where it was at such a young age, so you becoming like and taking that like initiative of like wanting to be a tattoo artist at 16, like who even thinks that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, you said you were spoiled.
Yeah, I was spoiled rotten. Like, so I was a little.
Like, how were you that mature at that? Like,
man, I don't know. I think it's just my mom. Like, my mom taught me a lot. Like I told you, like I got the blood of a crook and the blood of a nature, like very calm human being. So I've been told by many people that, man, you're like an old soul, bro. Like, how the fuck you know this shit? Or like, it's always been too that I've always been one of the youngest in the group of people that I hang out with. Like, whether it be, some old schools that are just kicking it, or like in a shop, or the homeboys have somebody. Like, it's always been like that with me.
Yeah, and it does make a difference.
That made a huge difference, So
like hanging out with older people at a younger age, it does.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wasn't treated like a kid. Like, of course, you crack little jokes here and there or whatever, but I wasn't treated like my age at that point. But they also knew that if some shit were to go down or whatever the case may be, they would be like, hey, Alex, like, I need you to go in the other room, or like, hey, I don't want you to see this. And I'll be like, why not? I'm fucking 17, 18 years old. And they're like, my son is your age. I wouldn't want my son to see this. So out of respect, go over there. And I'll be like, all right, I feel it, But now, like, my going back to, with my dad taught me a lot of shit as a kid. And he put it in the perspective of how it would translate in art, right? Yeah. So, like, you get a piece of paper, right? You get a piece of paper or a canvas, you paint it, whatever. I can paint something, you can paint something. Anyone can paint something, right? But with the integrity of the work and the quality of it and your name and everything like that, you can charge somebody whatever you want to charge them, And so that's something that he taught me, right, at a young age. And then so I was like 13 years old, and I was airbrushing helmets for one of the teachers' like softball teams, bro. I tell people all the time when they're like, yeah, when I was like 13 years old, bro, we were doing this, going in the hood, doing that, we're fucking drinking and all that. I like, bro, when you're 13 doing that shit, I was 13 making money, bro. Like, I had a childhood, like, doesn't, don't take away from that. I had a childhood. I was spoiled rotten, bro. Had everything I wanted, but my dad instilled it into me, like, this is how you're gonna make money. Like, it don't matter what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, even if it wasn't tattooing, like, I told Rihanna one time when it came to like vintage shit, I was like, I don't know too much about vintage, but if I was in this world, I'd fuck everybody up. That's just my mentality that was like bred into me. I was like, man, fuck that. Like, they're lucky I'm not in this shit, because I'll fuck this shit up quick. So.
Yeah, you're about to start making rugs, dude. I was kind of nervous.
Yeah, well, you see, I still want to do rugs, bro, but it's just not something that's like on my radar right now.
I was gonna say,
it's time consuming though.
Yeah, bro. Like, talking to you about it, I'm like, bro, this shit's like
time consuming.
Yeah, and then like, don't get me wrong, like the one I bought from you, bro, I break that bitch down.
You know what? Damn, I just remembered that you were gonna do that.
Yeah,
I just remembered just right now. And then you bought one from me, dude. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. When you could have made one yourself.
Yeah, I support the homie, though. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
I like to support, so.
But, the whole, like, the confidence, where did you get it from?
Man, that was built. Man, I don't know where I got confidence from. I feel like sometimes I don't even have that much confidence, you know, but I think a lot of it was built in the shops that I work in.
No, it's funny because I feel like, you know how you're like, oh, if I go into this, like, I'll fuck it up.
Yeah, like,
I'll be the best.
Because you have to be like that. I think you, in a way, you have to be like that. Of course, like, be humble. Like, I want to say, like, I'm a very humble person when it comes to things, but I'll talk my shit when it's time to talk shit, you know, but... There's one thing, like, I tell my homies at Gold Rush all the time, I'm like, man, you know, before I used to get upset or say something, like, when someone was talking shit, but, like, I learned how to talk shit at Gold Rush, bro, like, with the homies, you know? Yeah. So, it's just one of those things, I think, like, as I continue to do what I do in tattooing and as I learn more, I think it's the same thing with, like, the rugs. You get more confident in what you're doing, you know? Because, believe me, I've been tattooing since I was 16. At that time, I was just doing whatever. Between 20 to like 24, I was basically doing... I was like a walk-in artist, basically. Doing whatever came in, right? Yeah. Didn't really have a style. I just knew how to tattoo, right? So then I started focusing on traditional. And this is something my homie Rue tells me all the time. He's just like, how the hell do you get into traditional? You're killing it. You're getting known across the country with other artists wanting to do conventions with you and this and that, and then you just go, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to do black and gray. And I was like, I don't know, I didn't want to do it anymore, you know. So I got to Gold Rush about like 4 years ago, and I had asked Cody, like, hey man, like, you think I got a shot at working here? And he was honest with me, bro. He was like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, your work's okay, but I'm pretty sure, he's like, you want to learn, so like, if you come here, you're gonna learn a lot, you know. So then when that time came, I got there, and I was literally like, man, there's so many times I would like stay at his apartment and just talk to him and be like, bro, like, what the fuck, like, where am I gonna go with this? Like, I can go this way, this way, this way, this way. There's so many routes I can go. And he's like, man, fuck that, don't even worry about it, just do good tattoos. Like, at the end of the day, just do good tattoos, you know. Yeah. And so it was 1 month where I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing statues, you know, like, I'm gonna dive into it, and I'm gonna start doing this because I like it. And I posted on my Instagram, and ever since then, but like, there was tattoos where I was just like, I would have the homie Drew, and I was talking about it with my homie Chris yesterday. I had my homie Drew and Cody, and like, everybody standing over me, and Drew was like, how did you do that, you know? And I was like, bro, my client had his headphones on. I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. Like, I don't, like, of course I know how to tattoo, right? Yeah. But I was like, what you saw, I don't know how I created that. I just did it, you know? I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my hands.
I was just drawing.
Yeah, I was just going, you know? So, and then there's other times where I'd be like, hey, Cody, like, when you get a chance, can you come help me with something? And he's like, what do you need? I was like, I don't understand how to do this background. I want to do this type of background. It's like, all right. And there's a lot of artists out there, they have an ego, you know, and they won't let another homie get on a tattoo with them because they're like, oh, nah, fuck that. Like, I should be able to do this. But, like, I'm a hands-on artist. Like, so I took my gloves off. Like, hey, bro, you're teaching me something. Hands-on right in front of me. And I told my client, like, hey, my homie's going to hop on this background and show me something. And, like, I think I've only had, like, one client who was kind of uncomfortable about it. But, excuse me, everybody's just like, yo, I love that y'all learn together. I love that y'all actually do stuff like that. Yeah, because he's hopped on tattoos where I'm just like, bro, I don't understand this. How do you do this? Or how do you do that? Or I'll take a picture and be like, yo, how do you do this?
Yeah, real quick. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. Thanks, sir. And we're back.
Take another shot.
Everything's recording. Everything's good. You got your shot?
I hope so.
Yeah, we're
good. It is recording.
Yeah.
Third shot.
Smooth. Super smooth.
Let's do it.
All right. I just want to apologize for the previous session audio. It was Roland's fault because he didn't remind me to press record. Okay.
We'll blame it on Avion.
So we were talking about what's like not the worst, but the craziest area.
Oh man, I don't even know if I want to talk about it. I've tattooed this girl's asshole.
What?
Yeah. I did a spider web on. Like okay, you got. And then the spider web came off of it. What? But she was, you know what's crazy? Every time I tell this story, it's so crazy because when she came in, the way she looked and everything, like, you don't want to judge nobody, but like, she didn't look like the type that would want something like that, and she was so professional.
Did she have other tattoos or?
I don't remember.
Because I feel like.
Because I was 17, 18 years old.
Hey, you're not even old enough for that.
Yeah.
You were like barely starting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the first thing, if they're going to go that route, it would be like the nipples, right? They always do like the...
I
don't know. But do they pierce the nipples? Do
not pierce.
I don't.
I mean, tattoo the nipples?
Yeah, I would.
But have you done that like often or not?
Nah,
really?
it's not an often request, but I do know artists that do like ornamental type, like real very dainty looking like jewelry looking tattoos on like the areolas, and it looks beautiful. Like it looks awesome, bro. Like I think it's all on like how you do it, because it could look real trashy or it could look real beautiful.
I just can't see it. I feel like that'll look like pepperonis or something.
You think spider webs are trashy?
No.
Depends who does it or how you do it,
It's just how they do it, you know. Like I think spider webs are like classic, but also too, it's like it's how you do it, because it's like if you do it in a more traditional sense and it's kind of how you look, then whatever. But if you do it in like kind of like a, I guess like a like prison style looking, if you run across somebody who's really about that life and what like spider webs mean and shit like that, then it's kind of like, hey, why the fuck you got that for?
Wait,
and they'll
what do
be
they
like,
mean?
Okay, yeah, because I seen that somewhere. I forgot where I saw that.
I don't know like exactly what they mean, so I can't really like.
But then again, like who makes that like decision?
Yeah,
you know?
My question is, so when you did this girls,
yeah,
like, was it hard?
Nah, it was like probably one of the easiest tattoos.
Did she have to like hold herself?
No, so like
it's gonna be another TikTok thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be another TikTok thing.
Just asking,
so no, like so basically, okay, I'll just run it real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
She basically, I told her like, hey, just come clean, like clean yourself. I wouldn't shave because I don't want you to nick yourself,
So you shaved her?
I shaved her, right? And so when she came in, she went to the restroom, she wiped herself, whatever. She got on the table, basically like on her knees, I wore a mask and everything just cause, you never know, you never know, you know what I mean? Now for real, bro, you never know,
No,
so, I shaved the area. I told her, like, all right, cool. I'm going to draw with a marker, So the center's there. I drew a marker. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, all right, you ready? She's like, yeah.
You took a picture and showed her so she could see how it was going to look?
Yeah. And then I did the tattoo. And
did she say that it hurt or no?
She said it hurt, but it wasn't something that was, like, unbearable. Which was crazy to me because I'm like, yo, that's sensitive. And then so I remember telling her, like, I didn't want to see a photo of it, right? But I had asked her, like, hey, how did it heal? Because I'm always interested on, like, how stuff heals, whether it be on your arm, your leg, your fucking asshole, whatever. How did it heal? She's like, it healed perfect. Because that area, like, come on, you're going to use the restroom, right? And when you're wiping, it's like you can get it infected because
my God, I didn't even think about that.
You see? Yeah.
I was thinking about the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, if she took a shit.
Yeah.
And then, like,
didn't clean properly.
My God.
Yeah. So that, and then my coworker Kelly tattooed this lady who she has like her whole head done.
Hey, real quick, she does portraits and stuff, right?
Kelly does portraits, yes, and permanent makeup, and she's really good at it.
It's hard. I like the portrait stuff.
Yeah, so she was with the permanent makeup. She had a client who Paul Booth is a phenomenal old school artist who's still relevant till this day. He like fucking blasted her whole head. Like she's bald and she just blasted like completely. Right, so she got Kelly to do her lips like black, but like a bluish tint. It's so pretty. And like I remember going up to her and I was like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your work," because I don't know her personally, but I don't know the artist personally, but all over Instagram, everything like her work is known.
Who?
Right? The client.
Okay.
And I had asked her, I'm like, hey, if you don't mind, like, cause you gotta ask, if you don't mind, can I observe your tattoos? And she's like, yeah. She just took her shirt. She had her bra on, but she took her shirt off, and she's like, we're looking at her tattoos. I'm looking all on her head and stuff. I'm like, man, it's beautiful. And then when she left, Kelly was like, yeah, she wanted me to tattoo her lips. Her lips. And she was like, that was the first thing she wanted me to do. And I was like, nah, like not right now, or whatever. So she got someone else to do it. And so when she came back for a touch up from the lips, we had asked her like, how'd they heal? Like how'd they heal? And she's like, they healed perfect. Like I think she got her whole like
Oh no.
Vaginal region blacked out. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But it was like
permanent bush.
Like but I wanted to ask her, like I wanted to see a photo of it, like honestly, because I was like, how did that heal? Like, does it have little spots where it needs to be touched up, or like with the skin, you know?
Yeah, because obviously the skin's way more sensitive.
It's different, yeah.
You know, because I've gotten the laser hair removal, and let me tell you, like, it's by levels.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit fucking, like, burns.
And it's like, I mean, it's like that with any tattoo as
So
well.
imagine a tattoo where they're just
It's very sensitive. It's very sensitive. So, like, you know, I always tell people, like, you know, the skin on your hand is different from the skin on your forearm, different from here, different from your chest, different from your back.
What would you consider being, like, the hardest part to tattoo?
The hardest part to tattoo... Man, me personally, I'll probably say the neck. I fucking hate tattooing necks, and I get asked to tattoo necks all the time, and I hate it. And
Why is that though?
It's just uncomfortable, bro. Like I have for me and the client, like I have to sit there and like the skin's real stretchy, and I gotta sit there and like stretch it out, and what you call it, the client's sitting there all like fucking sideways or like leaning off the table like this, and it's just like they look cool, but I'm like, bro, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to do it.
You know, but neck tattoos can be, like, attractive.
They look cool.
They do.
Real quick, just off topic.
Yeah.
Like, right now when you went like that, I saw your nose pierced.
Yeah.
Does that hurt your nose? Like,
nah.
Because you know how it has that rod?
Loop?
Babe, you're not getting one.
Man, don't get a nose piercing, man.
You don't want one, right?
I want the bull thing right here.
That one hurts.
Do not do that.
That one hurts, bro. That one hurts. I know for a fact that one hurts.
What's the one on the...
You already have like a Tío Toro. You don't want to be called that.
What's the one on the guy's private part? What's that called?
Jacob's ladder.
Jacob's ladder?
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
That's the... How does that...
But it's like, I mean, it just depends on, you know.
The one on the tip.
I don't know what that one's called, but the Jacob's ladder is the one that's like under... on the shaft of it, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like, I mean, it just depends.
Thinking about getting that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Nah, that shit's gonna hurt, bro.
But yeah, that's crazy.
But nah, like, I ain't gonna lie, my piercing hurt, bro.
For real?
Yeah, it made me...
The nose one?
Yeah, that shit hurt.
You know, I have real like tough skin. Like, I just been told, like, and I just know I don't get like I don't get bruised. I don't get like
oh, it's gonna make your eyes cry if you
no, but like whenever I had got my ear piercings at, I think I went to Gold Rush. Somebody was there doing piercings, and I went over there, and then cause homeboy did them, right. It's the Lando.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, my homeboy he pierced my ear one time. And then you know, he did the needle under the fire type shit. Like, God, he did all this shit, right? It was at my house.
Yeah.
And then when my parents got back, they were like, "What the fuck is that? You wanna dress?
Yeah.
You know?" And they like, take that shit off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sorry.
But
fine.
that's like the old.
I was like, sorry, Dad. You
Yeah.
know? Anyway, then when I went back to whenever we came here and I got my piercings or whatever, the dude, he was like working on my ear and shit. He's like, "God damn, bro." He's like, your shit's fucking thick as fuck.
Oh my God.
You know?
He told me to pierce his ear.
Yeah.
We were in the restroom and I had such a fucking hard time trying to pierce his ears.
Yeah, I have a
I
video
gave
of
up.
that. I have a video
Well,
of
shit.
that.
I mean,
gave up. I was like, no.
Your nose doesn't look too like thick, but bro, they're not
Do
easy.
not
It
give
hurts,
him
bro.
ideas. He's fine.
It's nice. It's just a little bit of
Babe,
jewelry.
Do you think you have the nose
I think he has a nose for it. He has a
think
nice
so?
nose.
I got a big ass nose.
He
I
has
got
a
it from
nice
my
nose.
grandpa. But let's not focus on my nose right now, all right? So let's
just zoom in into it.
all right, so tattoos, right?
Yeah. You're like Jacob's ladders, right?
Okay, so
Jacob's ladder.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have my tattoo, right?
Right.
Let me just show you. It's Beto did it, right?
Yeah.
So low-key, like Roland, Beto, and like that other guy, what was his name? It was Danny.
Danny Blue.
Danny Blueski.
shout out
That's the
Danny
homie. He's always like, never stressed up, blessed up. That's the homie.
So
Hell
it was them three. We were like there super late, and I was like, all right, I just want like a succulent, because I just like really like wanted one. So basically, they were like, oh, you should do this. Don't be basic. Da, 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 da. So then
Because she wanted the outline.
Yeah.
Right?
So
That's a little basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
No,
Yeah.
there isn't, right? So I ended up with what I have, and I love it, because Beto's like, oh, what if we do like...
Do you love it, though? Like, dead ass, for real.
Yeah, I do. And then, Milo looks at it, and he knows how to write his name.
Yeah.
So he looks at it, and he'll be like, oh, he knows that it's his name. But I'm like, eventually, like, I think I would want like a sleeve.
Yeah.
But maybe not as dark.
Well, okay.
But I don't know how that would work.
Okay. So
You
clients always do that, right? Where they're like, oh, I don't want it to look too dark. Okay. With my tattoos, I do high contrast, right? Excuse me. So that means that I use a lot of black in my tattoos, bro. Black is the soul of the tattoo. If you don't have black in your tattoo, you have a gray and gray tattoo, not a black and gray tattoo, right? Black is what holds the tattoo together. So I've had clients where they're like, man, I love your work, but it looks kind of dark and this and that. I kind of want it light. If you want it, okay, say you get your sleeve done, right? And you get it with all like light tones. It's going to look awesome off jump. But how is that going to look in 10 years?
Yeah.
It's going to be almost gone. You know?
Yeah. So there's this guy, his name's Joaquin Quinton, right?
I think that's
Katie Hearn's dude.
Katie Hearn's tattoo artist, yeah.
So there's this guy in Dallas, right, that he does tattoos.
Joaquin Quinn Hernandez.
Quinn, yeah,
he's hard. He's
cold.
Yeah, I look at his tattoos and I'm like, damn, I love them. But I think it just goes based off like skin tones.
So he's
like you
not.
Said earlier.
Or would you think he's high contrast, or he just goes based off? Skin
I say he's like a little bit higher contrast. Yeah. He puts stark tones into it. But like what I was saying is like, okay, you get a tattoo, it looks great when you first get it. 5 years from now, that tattoo is going to settle the way it needs to, right? So the way I tattoo, the way Beto tattoos, the way that Cody tattoos, everybody, we're not thinking about what it looks like now. We're thinking about what it's going to look like 5 years from now. And that's
because I feel like mine looks pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
it's solid.
I don't think it looks dark.
Nah, it's solid. But yeah, like I get people, oh, like, can you go lighter? I'm like, for what? You're not gonna be able to see a tattoo in 5 years, you know? But
he said for what?
Yeah, like they don't. A lot of clients are misinformed on what, like how tattoos look, you know, and they're just looking for what it looks like now.
Or maybe we just go based off ideas of Pinterest, like, you know, Pinterest.
Yeah, I love Pinterest, but I fucking hate Pinterest too.
Like, I feel like Pinterest sets like such high standards of like lifestyle or,
you know,
or what things should look like.
You know, I was just listening. I think it was No Jumper. They were talking about how. I forgot, they were comparing something, but they said like, well, on Pinterest, it's very like, oh, that's so nice. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, it's never negative on Pinterest. Yeah. You know, so if people see tattoos and shit, like, they have nothing bad to say about. They just think like, it's because they go on Pinterest to find ideas and find like nice things and like, you know, so it's never like, you never think you're gonna find something ugly on Pinterest. You know, so,
and there's so much ugly shit on Pinterest.
And you know why though? Because you can comment on Pinterest, but who fucking comments? Nobody. You just pin it. Like,
or I get people who are like, yo, I want exactly this, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do exactly this.
Okay, so let's talk about that because I feel like I would have been one of those clients that was like, I want this, until like Roland was like, no, you go because you're hiring somebody because of how they're like their creativity.
Right.
And this, and this comes from like me getting my first tattoo, because I thought it was just like, you seen those shops? I don't know if you know somebody in the shop, but that says like, you pick it, we stick it type shit, you know? Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I want this.
You name drop like a whole ass business.
Yeah, it's a shop.
It is a shop.
But it's a saying too, you know, like, but it's like, like I can be like, hey, I want this right here.
I mean, I used to work in a shop like that, man, where like, you know, you had even with traditional tattoos, like, you know, you paint your, like in traditional shops, like true traditional shops, they paint their flash or tattoo designs that are ready to go. So like if you had this whole wall and you'd be like, yo, Alex, this is all the stuff you did.
It's like a haircut, like you know,
exactly.
Give me the number 2 right there, that boy right there.
Let me get that rose,
oh my God,
and let me get that eagle.
My mom did that.
Yeah, so you have shops like that. Like the first shop that I worked at, another artist by the name of Boogstar from Dallas, rest in peace. He passed away, I believe, like a couple years ago. He came out with a set of drawings, like a big old book. And he used to go around and sell those to tattoo shops, right? So you have all this book flash. It's all like hood shit, like you know, the Pillsbury Doughboy, like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Machine gun,
with machine guns, or like
the little heart with the little
or a little Playboy bunny, or like stuff like that, right? So you get people to come in, they're like, yo, I want that, like dope. Take it off the wall, scan it, stencil it, boom. You know, so you have shops like that, but when you're going to somebody who specializes, like, okay, like like for Beto, for instance, when you went to Beto specializes in the art that he does, right? So when he could do whatever, right? But he's going to try to get it to how he does it, you know? So when people come with ideas and they're like, yo, I want this tattoo. I want you to do your thing, but I want you to make it as close as possible to this. Yeah. You don't give the artist any creativity.
Let me just say, I think Beto just took me because I was his wife. And
most likely, maybe. You never know.
Because he was there and he was like, my wife wants a tattoo or whatever. She wants 3, like 2 little ones and whatever.
Yeah.
And which I know, right. I feel like I know, like, he would never, like, just take somebody to do like a small tattoo.
Yeah, because this one was literally like a Pinterest tattoo. It's like a sunset with the waves, right?
Yeah.
It's a matching one with me and my younger sister.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with small tattoos.
But Roland was like, Beto wouldn't do that, like just because, you know. And I'm like, no, I respect that.
I did go in there thinking like, all right, he's only gonna do this because I'm his client and he's done shit for me.
Yeah,
you know.
Or he might have, on a slow day or something that's just like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You never know.
You never know, but. Yeah, I know, because my sister was like, oh, who did you go with? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you to go with this guy because he charges like this much and what you're getting, it's like not that much, you know?
Yeah.
So she went to you pick it, me stick it. Like.
And then, like,
but
another
her
thing.
tattoo was like, I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's super simple.
Yeah.
You know?
But, okay. That's another thing. Super simple. Just because it looks simple doesn't mean that it is simple. There's, like me, for instance, I can knock out a sleeve and there can be a bunch of mistakes that I made in there that I corrected before you seen it, right? But I can get away with it because Nico, there's an artist in California named Nico Hurtado. He said it doesn't matter how good of a tattoo artist you are, it's how good you can fix your fuck ups. That's when you start figuring out if you're a good artist or not, because everyone fucks up. We're human, you know what I mean?
Okay, did they fuck up my tattoo?
No.
Don't tell me that because it's there permanently.
No. But you get what I'm saying? So, okay. So, when you're dealing with something that is large scale, you can get away with stuff. But when you're dealing with stuff like that, you can't get away with that. If you got little letters or something like that, it's straight to the point. So, if there's something...
Like with this one, this one, I feel like it's the North Star, right?
Yeah.
So, I think we talked about this before when you're like... Oh, it's really like placement matters.
Placement matters.
Yeah, because if I go like this, I'm like, shit, it's fucking crooked.
Yeah, but when you relax,
you know what's crazy? Yeah, because when he was doing that, I was like, she would show me and him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, damn, bro, I don't know. Like, because he was doing the stencil first.
Yeah.
And we're like, bro, I don't know. I think, and he'd be like, well, it's because when she turns, or
it's gonna move.
It's gonna move, bro. You know.
So what he did was, he's like, he put it on me, and then he's like, look, like in the mirror. So I was looking and I'm like, I mean, if you think it looks right, it looks right to me, you know? So then, but I feel like it looks straight.
Yeah, it is straight.
Like, if I, because how am I going to be like, oh, look at my tattoo? Like
3 shots of tequila. He's like, yeah, it is straight.
It is straight. Like, whoa.
It's his fault. He brought the bottle.
No, but like, placement is a very big thing. Like, I get clients who, they'll be like, I had one dude where he literally bought an iPad to get on Procreate and literally designed his whole sleeve and was like, I want you to do that for me.
But would you do that?
No,
right?
Not at all. Because why would you, like, just generally speaking, why would you pay me to do something that I didn't create? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But I feel like it's because the general public, I feel like, don't think of tattoo artists as artists.
No, they don't.
They just think like,
you're an artist, do it.
How can we change that?
Yeah, how would you change that? You know,
I mean, that's a hard one.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Instagram is playing a big part in doing that. That's how you spread information. To people now. You know, like,
because I feel like y'all being the same age and being older, like
23, 21, right?
21. Yeah.
Like, I feel like people my age that we're younger, we don't really. Like,
I guess. It's
18.
Yeah, I guess it's like,
because it does. It's different.
Yeah, it is different. It is different. I think. I don't know. That's kind of a touchy one because you're gonna get people who get it, and then you're gonna get people who are just like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, And it's just like, with me, I just make sure that my clients know that if you get tattooed by me, I'm gonna do the best that I possibly can. And if I place something somewhere, it's because it's meant to go there. Everyone's shaped different, so something that like on my like the tattoo on my forearm, this may fit perfect on me, but let somebody who has a skinnier arm than me or a wider arm than me, they may have to go bigger or smaller with it. You know what I mean? So placement is very, very key. Very key when it comes to tattoos, because it's aesthetics, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing with rugs. It's the same thing with clothes. There's an aesthetic to everything that you do. So it's no different with tattoos.
No, that's true. AI Moss is all about neutral colors. So.
Yeah. And then it's like, do you want a tattoo that flows with the body, or do you just want a tattoo that's just on your skin?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because when it comes to like graphic design, I feel like I have a style. You know, I like doing certain type of like designs and shit, but then I get people that come to me for
excuse me, I was trying to hold it in. I couldn't do it. Thank you. Sorry.
I'm gonna zoom in on that shit.
Okay.
But you're saying you get people.
Yeah, I get people that like come to me just because I'm a graphic designer. So it's like, oh well, he does designs, fuck it, like you know, let me go to him. But it's like that's when like I remember I posted it one time where I'm like, I'm not gonna do so and so anymore. Now I'm just gonna do my shit. If you come to me, it's because I want his style type shit. You know, it's kind of like with tattoos. You know,
and it's still a good thing that they come to you, but you hit that wall when they're like, no, but I want it like this, and you're like, no, that's not what I focus on.
Like,
you
I'm
know,
just like, but I mean,
like I get people all the time where they're like, yo, I love your work, bro. Like, I want to get this done, and it's like a color portrait, and I'm like, where on my Instagram
let me see if I got the colors and
stuff. Like where on my Instagram do you see that I do color? And they're like, oh well, you're a phenomenal artist. I'm like, well, thank you, but that's not my lane. My lane is what you see. And if it's something that I think that I want to take on, I'll take it on. But if not, like, I'm not gonna take it on.
Right. No, I agree.
Let's go on a quick break, and then this will be the last one.
Okay.
And that's it.
So we are back from like a whole hour break.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, because we're talking about like Milo taking a nap, right?
Yeah.
Man, dude, when I was little, when I remember taking a nap in class one time, and I was gonna say a bitch, right? But nah, some girl, she stepped on my face, dude.
She stepped on your face?
Stepped on my face.
Damn.
Yeah, like I was.
Damn it, boy, just like.
Dude, from what I remember, from a shoe landing on my face, dude, I remember. She was like, I think I was between two desks. So it's like a desk like this and a desk like this. And I was just laying down, chilling, bro. I was like, all right, let me try this nap shit out, you know? I was like, all right, like this. And I think it was a Batman, like, sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You know when you, like, swing between desks? Like, you'll be like this.
You'll be like,
you swing.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like she did that and she
just like, bah!
Stepped on my face, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And I don't know, dude. I either had to take it.
Do you remember that?
I was not a snitch, you know. I was a snitch back then, but
yeah, he still is.
I was like, teacher, like, control your girl, bro. Like, damn.
Do you remember taking naps in school?
Vaguely, yeah.
Maybe. I remember specifically. There was this kid. His name was Sergio.
It had to be a dude, man. I knew.
No, but you know,
he kissed me, and it was magical.
That would be like child harassment, babe. Come on.
Not a girl.
No, but he was like, you could tell he was like sped, you know, and he would like follow me all the time, and I'd be like, I was so nice, and I would be his friend, but for my nap time, I was tired.
Yeah, you know? That's funny.
But overall, like, you know, I think nap time is very needed for kids.
I still take naps. Fuck that. I need naps.
I try not to, but I've been going to sleep earlier, dude.
He tries not to, but takes naps every fucking day.
I understand, bro. My homies make fun of me because they're like, yo, you taking a nap? I'm like, bitch, I'm tired. Like,
what's your schedule?
Yeah, what is your schedule?
Man, my schedule's everywhere. Like, I don't really have a set schedule. I'm trying to have a set schedule, but it's everywhere. I know I tattoo between 10 to 4. Sometimes it's after, 5, 6. And then I get home. Rihanna cooks. I'm cleaning the house a little bit.
She cooks?
What she cook, bro?
Man, she cooks.
Let's talk about
everything, bro. She cooks everything. She's like, I cook, I clean. She cooks everything, bro. Chicken, burgers, I'm very no bullshit. I'm very fortunate to have her. Like very.
That's hard. That's
yeah,
hard.
Because like I'll talk about it with like the homies and shit, and they'll be like,
"What's your favorite meal?"
I'm simple.
I like the sandwiches, dude.
I'm simple.
The sandwiches she makes.
Simple.
Seriously?
Yeah, Rihanna.
You're gonna pick my sandwiches over everything
I'll probably
else?
my favorite. Yeah, she makes like sausage and egg sandwiches, but it's like chorizo and whoa. That like I could eat that for the rest of my life, bro. For real. What did I eat before we got here? Exactly. Yeah, that's chorizo and eggs. For real. Like that's something that I don't know. Like I just grew up eating that, so
it gives you comfort.
Yeah, it's like comfort food. I guess you could say like it's comfort food. Like no matter what, I know like rich or broke, I can still eat this shit and be like good, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's hard.
Yeah.
I think Milo loves my huevos con salchicha.
Nice.
Yeah, huevos con salchicha.
What do I make them?
Nothing.
Candy?
You don't make him nothing.
I heat up like the pizza rolls.
Nice.
And stuff like that.
He doesn't have.
It's
pizza
the
rolls.
thought that counts.
Bro, he loves.
Let me clarify. He doesn't have pizza rolls. What are you talking about? What kid are you talking about?
Oh shit! On the next episode,
the fucking things.
The pizza ones, the mini pizzas.
What are they called?
Not pizza rolls.
Okay, what are they called? Mini pizzas?
same but different.
He calls them mini pizzas, I guess. I don't know.
Baby pizza.
Baby pizzas. Yeah. But he likes, so like whenever we order like a big pizza, he likes putting the Parmesan cheese. So she bought him a small Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
So I made him the fucking baby pizzas and he
puts the Parmesan on.
I let him put that shit on there, but
hell yeah.
He didn't eat them, dude. Like, I don't know
no, because he made him 8 of the mini ones.
Yeah.
That's like one slice of pizza.
And I'm like, dude, that's a lot. You know, but
yeah, for a kid, I guess.
Kids, you know, and I'm just like,
I ate them after
4. Yeah. But I mean,
he really made extra ones so that he could eat some.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a dad trick. It's all good.
That's what I used to do with my youngest brother. I'll be like, we'll make him a whole pizza. He's not gonna eat all of it. Me and my other brother.
I eat 2. It's fine.
We'll split
What's your favorite like food? Or let me
just so you know, like this is conversations going all over the place.
Yeah,
let me rephrase that. While you're working, what's your favorite
that's a good question. Food? Man, okay.
Okay.
So that's like the hardest decision of the day. Every day with the homies.
Is that because you order for your client or because you're
I order for my client. Yeah, I order for my client, but most of the time, like I won't really ask them what they feel like eating. I'll be like, hey homie, like, you know, you hungry? Yeah. What y'all getting? Shit, we're figuring it out right now. And like, as tattooers, we eat a lot. Like, especially just from you know, who I've worked with and shit like that. So we're always like, what y'all feel like eating? Chicken? Nah, we had that other day. Burgers? Nah, we had that yesterday. Pizza? Nah, we had that.
Do y'all get Waffle Bus a lot?
Nah, fuck Waffle Bus. I hate Waffle Bus.
Huh? You don't like it either?
No, it's right there by the.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I like the little waffle, the waffle with the little burger part. But man, like
the rest,
it's fucking like. I don't. Okay, if you like Waffle Bus, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't like Waffle Bus.
But
babe, shut up. You've been craving it.
If you don't like Waffle Bus, cool. But ever since I seen how they take care of the food in the back.
Tell me.
No, tell me.
Tell me. I want to know.
Well, one day
I care.
I'm gonna let you know because I care.
Babe, you need to know.
Waffle Bus sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, sponsor the podcast. Waffle Bus. Man, one time they had their like fresh like chicken next to the trash can, exposed chicken next to the trash can.
That's okay.
That shit ain't okay, bro.
That's not okay.
Do you not drop the chicken on the floor one time?
Not for you.
Still cooked it.
I'll wash it and rinse it.
Yeah.
But that maybe
they wash it and rinse it.
So
I don't do that.
After that, I was like,
lying.
nah. But what's the Miko's? Y'all need to eat Miko's.
Miko's hot chicken.
Yes.
That's next to where you get your laser hair shit.
I think
that's over there.
I think
Katie?
Nah, it's right down the road from.
No, I think that's another
the
one.
shop.
It's
right down the road.
There is a Miko's.
Miko's is the shit.
I think.
Well, what do they have? Because you know what?
It's just
like Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
It's like Waffle House, but actually good.
Okay, because I don't. What are you doing?
I'm trying to do the.
Okay.
I guess I can. I can't do it.
No, babe. Sorry.
I'll just add a sound effect like me doing it.
Okay, so I don't like ground beef, right? Like
she don't like the texture.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Of like
Well, they only
burgers,
serve chicken.
so it's like,
but it's chicken. It's not
They
beef.
only
but
serve
that's
chicken.
what I was asking. Like,
Come on, homegirl.
They like chicken fries. They got chicken chicken burgers. They got the burger or not burger.
Milo, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Now, like if you like waffle bus,
he rubs his chest. I'm hungry.
Yeah, he does rub his chest.
Like, that's not where your stomach is, but okay, bro.
he's like, I feel it right here.
You know what? I want the heartburn. I want the heartburn.
But now, like if you like waffle bus, like Miko's is
okay.
like.
So I've only had waffle bus one time.
Okay, well you need to go to Miko. You need to take Miko's.
It's like down the street
It's
or what?
around the corner.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
Close to the shop.
Yeah, but like now, like I always try to tell like my clients, like when they get there, a lot of them are like real kind of shy sometimes. But I'm like, yo, you're my people for the day. So like we're gonna eat together, we're gonna laugh together. Like you're part of the shop for the day. So just clear your schedule. We're gonna tattoo, and then when it's time to eat, we're gonna order some food. So, but like that's the hardest thing to pick to eat, like because we eat everything. Like and like at least with the people that I work with, we like good food. So it's real hard. Like, oh, let's go get Italian. Well, what kind of Italian you want to go? Okay, well, we ate that last week. And I'm like,
and it's kind of cool though, cause y'all, I feel like y'all get to try like different stuff. Cause as a client, you know, like whenever I was with Beto, like they'll do that. You know, they'll be like,
He
hey,
didn't
bro.
do that while I was there. Let me just say that.
damn,
But
shots fired.
I can't say nothing, but no, but yeah, he'll be like, hey, bro, you're hungry? You know, we're about to order some food. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No,
you know?
I know you've told me.
But then this last time, the last tattoo that I got, he was like, hey, bro, like, you know, we're gonna be here a little longer. You know, like, you want something? And I'm like, oh, what y'all getting? And that's when he's like, oh, we're gonna get like this chicken, whatever the fuck. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll get that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
and then like I just see it as like part of the session too, you know, like
you know, and I think that's pretty cool.
Like I'm pretty much paying for this meal right now, so you know,
kind of. But hey, I ordered it for you, you know, you know what I mean.
He's like, yeah, I'm paying for it, but yeah, if you want to think like that,
no, yeah.
But it's the whole experience, you know. It makes the client comfortable and just like you know, it's real chill. We crack jokes and shit, you know. So
do you remember like a specific occasion where you're like, damn, I'm never gonna forget me tattooing this like specific tattoo?
Let me see. Yeah, like tattooing my mom, tattooing my dad.
You tattooed your mom and your dad?
Yeah, like my grandma. I've tattooed my grandma, my grandpa. Like family member, like I say like landmarks of my career of when I was like, damn, like that tattoo got me to this, and then this tattoo got me here. You know what I mean? So probably like my family, tattooing my family, like doing my, you know, the first tattoo on with an actual setup on my grandpa, because my grandpa taught me how to make like a little prison machine, and that's what I did my first tattoo with. I still have it.
Wait, your grandpa taught you to do it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the shit runs deep. Like my grandpa, I still have my grandfather's machine from like 40 years ago, bro. It's in a little box, you know. And he showed me like, you know, this is how you do it. You know, use a guitar string and sharpen it and do this. I did like some lettering.
Oh, you said a guitar string?
Yeah. Because it's like real flimsy and you can sharpen it. So I did that, tattooing at my house, or like my parents' crazy. House and shit like that.
And thinking about that is crazy.
Wait, so did you get affected by like COVID or no?
Work wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time in my career that I felt like I fucked up. And what I mean by that is that for the longest, I used to do percentage. And what I mean by percentage is like when you go to a shop and you work at a shop, they're either going to have you on booth rent or they're going to have you on a set percentage, whether it be like 50-50, you know, whatever the case. But I was on booth rent, and I remember my homie telling me, like, we had just had Friday the 13th, and we were like, he was like, you know, I cashed out on Friday the 13th. He's like, cool, man, like, save that money because, you know, COVID's about to hit, and you know, you're gonna have to, you know, pay your bills and shit, right? So I'm like, cool, I'm listening, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I got money saved, whatever. Well, COVID hit, and like the shops everything got shut down. So we shut down, I think, for like 6 weeks. We shut down for 6 weeks, and me, like, they make fun of me because I'm like, when I found out COVID was like, you can't see it, you can't touch it. I figured out real quick that I'm a germaphobe because of COVID. And I fucking like just literally stayed in my house and like didn't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because it freaked me out, right? So the thing was that we still had to pay for one of the months of
the booth rent.
Yeah.
And I was short. I was short like a couple $100 or whatever like that. And I personally felt like, fuck, bro. Like at the, when I got on booth rent, the way I see it is like I have my own schedule. I can do whatever the fuck I want, right? Yeah. But at the end of the month, I owe these people money. So it don't matter what I do. At the end of the month, they still have to have their money. And when I didn't have that, and I had to call my homie and tell him like, hey man, like I'm short. Like he was okay. Like he was cool with it. But he was just like, hey, just remember what I told you. You pay what you have right now, and then we'll figure out, with the rest. And as soon as I did the next tattoo, boom, I gave it to him. Yeah. But that moment really made me realize that I need to like be a little smarter with my money, which is that question that you're gonna ask me about like living and stuff. So from that point is when I started realizing like the homie Rue, he has so much knowledge. Like I'm so happy that I have him in my corner, because he gives me so much advice as far as like the living as a tattooer and being financially like stable as a tattooer, so because that's one thing that it took me years of learning to figure out. When my dad showed me all that when I was young, but I was real negligent of I was like, man, fuck it, like I'm 18 years old, I'm making this much money, like I made this today, I'll do it again tomorrow. And then like I had to get out of that mindset, because like if you're a decent tattooer, I consider myself like a decent tattooer. I'm never gonna be like, oh yeah, this shit, but I'm a decent tattooer and I make a good living out of it, man. So like I always think like, man, if I'm charging $1,000 a session and I'm doing 4 sessions a week, that's $4,000 in a week. How if I can't live off of that, what am I doing wrong? So I always live me just speaking on myself. I live within my means, within my means. And I, starting to understand like the taxes and I
feel like that's how you're supposed to live,
Yeah, but it's real easy to get lost in that when you're just making...
When you're making money.
When you're making money, yeah. When you're making money, bro, it's just like, man, fuck it. I'll spend $2,000-$3,000. Oh, you want that? You want to go out to eat and do that? Man, fuck it. I'll make that money tomorrow, But having that mindset will keep you, like, in a box, to where, you don't have nothing saved. Like, what if a rainy day happens and, like, what if my hands break? Or what if something happens to my eyes?
Wait, do you have your hands insured or no?
I don't. Not yet. I keep getting told.
Is that a thing for tattoo artists?
I don't know.
It is for doctors.
I don't know if it's a thing for tattooers.
Rihanna has her legs insured, I think.
Yeah. Rihanna's parents have talked to me.
No, Rihanna, like the singer.
The singer. Yeah.
The singer.
Yeah.
I was like, why would
she Tina Turner, she has her legs.
I know J-Lo has to like her butt.
I'm sure that there's a thing, but that's something that I haven't like really like touched on. You know what I mean? But
crazy.
Well, I mean, I used to sell like life insurance. I think that's something you should really look into.
Yeah. But like, okay, so like stuff like that, like growing in, like I basically grew up in tattooing, right? So like when I was 17, my mom told me, it was like, all right, you're gonna get introduced to a world that you've never
like even
known about. Well, I knew about it, but actually being in it, and I was like, oh, okay, but you got I've been in situations where it's like, working in hood shops to working in, the best of the best, like, of shops, so you see all walks of people, you see all walks of quality, you see what people are really doing or what they're not doing, you see people's habits and whether it be good habits or bad habits, so being 17 years old and seeing certain things like for instance, like when me and Rihanna were together and I would want her to just come by so that we could have lunch, her family wouldn't let her come to one of the shops that I worked at just because they knew where it was at. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, man, fuck it. Like I'm at my shop tattooing. Like I'm making a living, But now that I'm older, I realize those things.
It's because in a way, I feel like they kind of like related to like a gangster thing or like
and yeah, some people have that.
Shit,
some people have that mentality of it, you know. And I mean, that is a part of, I guess, the culture of tattooing, but that's just one part.
I feel like where it started, though, you know.
Yeah, like
now it's just like an artistic thing. I feel like I look at it like more of like it took an artistic route.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
Like a lot of people see like the art behind it rather than like just
nowadays they see it. I think that's always been there, like because you got like artists like Ed Hardy and stuff who were doing stuff that in the 80s and 90s, you know.
I thought that was just a brand.
No, he's an actual tattoo artist, bro. He's like. He's a legit. He did it the right way, bro. Like in my eyes. So he busted his ass. He became a very known artist. He's a painter and stuff like that. And then he owns, I don't know how many shops he owns, but he owns, I think, 1 or 2 shops. And then when it was time to be like, okay, I'm getting older. My quality isn't what it was. Mm-hmm. It's time to hang it up. He was financially stable by then. Like he sold off designs to, you know how it says like Ed Hardy by Christian whoever. Mm. That guy, he sold designs to that guy, and I think he didn't realize what that guy was gonna do with them, and that's why you see Ed Hardy, like, you know, the jeans, the jacket and stuff like that. But I don't think Ed Hardy knew that that's where his stuff was gonna go, you know. So a lot of people think it's just a brand, but it's an actual tattoo art. Like he was an actual tattoo artist back in the day. That was like how you see tattooing now was how he was doing shit way back in the day, you know. Yeah. But I think with like Instagram and TV shows like Ink Masters, it's kind of opened up the like art side of tattooing to the general population, or the soccer moms and shit like that. People who you thought would never get a tattoo are getting tattoos. So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to shed light on that. But it's also like those shows, like I personally don't like those shows, because it's like you get people who they come in and they're like, yo, they did a whole sleeve in like 1 episode. And they're like, dude, it's fucking edited. Like, you know, but you know, so like, I think
that's not real.
Yeah, it's not real. Like the tattoo's real, but it took a while for them to do that, you know. So I think it's a good thing that a lot of good light, like you have LA Originals on Netflix. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. Like talking about Mr. Cartoon,
Mr. Cartoon
and stuff like that, you know. So it's cool. And then like on beer commercials and stuff like that, like on Cash App, They had a Cash App commercial with, I think, Ganga Tattoos and Odell Beckham. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you would have never seen that 10 years ago or 20 years ago, where they're showcasing like tattoos on a commercial. Or like with Mr. Cartoon, I forgot what he did. I think it was like not Michelob, I think some beer. But he did
sponsor us.
Yeah, you know. He did something with either Michelob or Corona or something like that, and it's tattoo related. And I was like, yo, that's fucking dope. Like we got homies who are tattooing who are actually coming into a different light, you know. It's really cool. I think it's pros and cons to it though, you know. So
all right, with that being said, you know, I don't want this to come to an end or anything, but
we gotta do part 2.
You know, we gotta do a part 2 or whatever. But this is, you know, we gotta go pick up Milo after this. Yeah, it's a good time to wrap up. But anybody, I mean, you want to give a shout out or tell them where they can find you and stuff?
Your Instagram, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is tattoos by Alex, TATTOOSBYALEX. I work at Gold Rush Collective in the Heights. Man, shout out to everybody who's watching the show. Shout out to everybody that's helped me in my career. Shout out to my parents, my grandparent, my mom. You know, shout out to Ree in the back.
Yeah, shout out to Ree.
Did you ever tattoo Ree?
Yeah, I've done some small tattoos
on her.
You
have tattoos?
Yeah, I've done some small ones on her. Okay. You know, but yeah, really just shout out to everybody that's been part of my journey and who's continuing to be part of my journey in this career that I chose, and you know, making art, making memories, and just doing dope shit, bro. Yeah, you know.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of like our new setup.
Hell yeah.
You're the first one. You're the first one, you know.
I like it.
But so again, everybody, you know, we're gonna have all his information in the description. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the podcast.
Damn, you sound like Alex saying nothing but
It's all right.
I didn't even hear it.
You need to put a little counter on the side.
Yeah,
counter.
we should.
But
you and him, like it's like
You don't do us?
Not really.
No, okay.
Yeah. Follow us in the description below. All his information is gonna be in the description. Whatever Roland said is also gonna be in the description. So thank y'all for watching and thank you for joining us.
Thank you
today.
so much.
Say it.
Peace.
And that's it. Peace out.
Bye.
That's dope.